Leading change through relationship. I interviewed Mr. Daniels. He's a leader who changed how I lead. Mr. Daniels is a current administrator who leads a school of about 150 teachers and 2,000 students in a high school. And he is known for building relationships before change. He does this by actively listening when teachers express concerns. He involves teachers in identifying solutions, and he likes to ask the question, what can we remove from your plate? He also believes in the role of psychological safety. And in our interview, we talked about different components of that, which includes inclusion, learner, contributor, and challenger safety. It also goes along with Harrell's framework on psychological safety, and that's the belief that one can speak up about ideas, issues, or mistakes without fear of punishment or rejection. In our interview, we talked about change that doesn't overwhelm. And in order to do that, Mr. Daniels talks about implementing a gradual release model. He builds competency without overwhelming his faculty and staff. He teaches and addresses teachers' concerns at each stage, and he creates sustainable change and not just short lived compliance. And one of his beliefs is that change cannot happen alone, especially when we think about leadership. We have to do it all together. If one person is leading the charge, I don't think it would be successful. That's one of the things that he said. He believes that administrators should share the load. Um, at his particular school, different administrators are responsible for different departments, and he ensures a broader buy-in and support across multiple areas. And he believes in building leadership capacity. And so, in talking to Mr. Daniels and knowing how he has mentored me, we talked about some of the lessons that he taught me and how it changed me. And so, like we talked about with building relationships, he first built a relationship with me. He invested his time in getting to know me as a person and not just another administrator. He also created a space for us to have honest and open conversation, and he earned my trust. He also had courageous conversations with me. Once we established trust, and I actually trusted him, he was able to challenge me to work on my relational skills with teachers. He didn't criticize me, and he always framed it as how can I get better and not necessarily what I was doing wrong. And so I had an opportunity to put the things that he taught me into practice when I transferred to another school to be an administrator there. And instead of going in and trying to change everything, I really focused on building relationships with the teachers before I tried to change anything. I actively listened and I really tried to learn the culture and the climate of the school. I asked teachers what they needed and not what I thought they had needed or what I assumed they needed. I established trust before trying to have some of those hard conversations. And so that all goes along with the reciprocal nature of trust. Teachers have to understand and know that you're there for them. And if they know that you're there for them, then they will in turn be there for you. And I learned that trust is also just not one directional. I had to trust teachers and they had to also trust me. And I have to be able to support teachers as people first and then professionals second. And relationships are not a way to manipulate people for doing things that you want them to do. It has to be the foundation of authentic relationships. And so, what I've learned through the interview and just even having Mr. Daniels' mentorship, I learned that there's some skills that you have to have. You have to be a people person. You have to be able to actively listen and to be able to be responsive to concerns. I know a lot of times we believe that nodding and smiling can be equated to listening, but you have to also be responsive to the concerns of the people that you lead and have a genuine respect for the existing systems in place. And so, through this interview, and as I continue to grow as a leader, my commitment is to continue to prioritize relationships, especially as we talk about change, and to also be able to implement change incrementally and create a shared ownership in whatever problem that we are trying to solve, and to maintain that psychological safety, and to always be a continuous leader, to be able to listen as a leader and use those things that I am hearing to help with invoking change. And so, my final reflection from our interview is that you just cannot mandate transformation or change. You have to be able to create conditions where people choose to transform. Leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about creating safety for collective problem solving. And the relational work that you do is actually the change work.